What is going on, everybody? It's the Bronson. We're here for our AEW Rampage and SmackDown review for May the 13th, 2022. This was the night we had the TNT Championship on the line on Rampage. The Owen Hart Cup continues for the women as Ruby Soho took on Riho and Death Triangle took on the Butcher, the Blade, and Mark Quinn, as well as Shawn Spears taking on Boulder. On SmackDown, we had Okay, bro, holding up to their promise of being on SmackDown to get their tag team unification match that they asked for, or they were demanding on Monday nights. And not much else was known other than that, besides the SmackDown, the women's tag team titles being on the line. Now, we start on Rampage as we always do. And as we know, for the next few weeks, Rampage is going to be starting early because of the NHL, NBA playoffs, all that jazz. So that is what happened tonight. Started at 5:30. We started with Death Triangle, Penta Oscuro, Pac and Ray Phoenix versus the Blade, the Butcher, Mark Quinn. Penta and Blade start off with Penta quickly hitting a super kick. Penta tags in Pac, who hits a kick Blade's gut and holds Blade's legs up for Penta to hit the drop kick from the top rope. Blade's backside. Pac continues to pound Blade, gets pulled to the floor by Butcher. Butcher hits a backdrop suplex on the ring apron and rolls Pac back into the ring. Blade tags in the Butcher. During this match, Chris Jericho decides to name the Butcher and the Blade his sports entertainers of the week. Who gives a shit? A low drop kick by Pac takes down Butcher, and Pac follows with a drop kick from the top rope. Butcher retreats to the floor. Pac waits for him to come back in. Butcher does and tags in Quinn. Quinn charges into a hip toss. Pac tags in Phoenix. Quinn misses a standing moonsault, but it's able to take down Phoenix with a Hurricane Rana and a series of kicks. Quinn sets up Phoenix in a powerbomb position, but Phoenix lifts him up for a flapjack. Phoenix then hits a spin toward Nilo into an arm drag. Phoenix tries for his rebound reversal on the ropes, but the Butcher runs interference, and Quinn hits a drop kick and sends Phoenix to the floor as we go to picture-in-picture break. Back from break, Blade has Phoenix in the front headlock. Phoenix tries for the power in the corner, but Butcher and Quinn knock Penta and Pac off the apron. As we get to the end of the match here, Penta runs wild on Quinn and Butcher and tags in Pac. Pac kicks away on Quinn and hits a deadlift German suplex for a 2 count. Butcher and Blade grab Pac's legs from the floor, but Phoenix and Penta take him out with a pair of dives. Pac takes down Quinn again. Phoenix and Penta hit the Fear Factor on Quinn. Pac follows up with the Black Arrow for the 1, 2, 3, and the Death Trial. Get your winners. Pretty academic. Nobody expected Butcher, Blade, and Mark Quinn to actually win this match, so did what it needed to do. Gets the Death Triangle back out there for everybody to see. It's great to see Penta, Pac, and Phoenix all back together, which we don't get to see that often because Pac, well, with all the restrictions being lifted and everything, we shouldn't have the problems we've had over the last 2 years of Pac being stuck in the UK. So after the match goes on and it ends, lights go out, lights come back on, there is the House of Black, letting you know that this feud with them is not over. Lights go back down again, lights come back up, and they are gone, so it was just mind games for the afternoon, for the night. Shawn Spears versus Boulder. This match was pretty academic. They're having Shawn Spears could be called the Giant Killer. Why? Beats the hell out of me. But now he's apparently the Giant Killer. And this is Bear Boulder's first singles match in AEW. If you remember last year, Bear Boulder went down with an injury and Bear Bronson was used in a couple singles matches, I believe on Dark or Dark Elevation, and didn't win at all. Match wasn't very long. Spears was able to get Bear Boulder up into the C4, and he hits it, which was, I would say, a feat in and of itself because Bear Boulder is a pretty big dude. And after the match, Spears gets the and starts battering Boulder and is just yelling for Wardlow because, as you know, when the 10 lashes are done next week on Wednesday, the week after, which will be the go-home show, of course, you have MJF as a special guest referee in the middle of a cage match between Shawn Spears and Wardlow. Next thing is backstage with Tony Nese and Mark Sterling. Sterling is a neck brace and crutch. He says the match against Hook and Danhausen is not going to happen. I am not a professional wrestler. I am just here to be a lawyer. I crossed the T's and dots the I's. That's it. But Tony Nese is like, dude, no. It's fine. It's fine. I destroyed Danhausen in his first match. And I can take them on by myself. And then he tells Mark Sterling that when we get to Vegas, put 10 G's on them. Which Sterling was like, yeah, that's a lot. So, Hookhausen is going to run roughshod all over this dude. On Hart Foundation qualifier, quarterfinal match, Riho versus Ruby Soho. Little disappointed Riho didn't stick with the black gear that she had last week. I thought that was actually, that was an awesome look. The all black gear. I thought that looked better than the pink and white attire she wears. But that's just me. Okay, so the lockup leads to a clean break against the ropes. Soho and the armbar, but Riho reverses it. Soho reverses and uses the ropes to flip out of it and get back into the armbar. Soho kicks Riho in the gut but misses a running knee. Riho tries for a Northern Light suplex, but Soho blocks it. Riho responds with a head scissors takedown and double stomp. Excalibur mentions that Hikaru Shida is not, in quotation marks, is not medically cleared. AKA, she's working Japan right now. They do not have her services, so we have to say that she got injured in the Philly Street fight, which I think somebody should tell Hikaru Shida that this is all to be kayfabe because you're off in Japan, whereas they ain't gonna have the services of her because she put a tweet out or on social that she has had 4 matches in Japan and just had some kind of wrestling musical or whatever, performed the wrestling musical in Japan, but yet somehow she's injured. I don't think anybody clued in Hikaru Shida that they were going to do that for her, which is kind of stupid. Here's my thing. If you knew Hikaru Shida was going to be in Japan at this time, you didn't have to put her in the Owen Hart tournament. You didn't have to have her be in a qualification match. You could have had Chris Statlander be added in as she would be in a minute. So, Soho gains control and goes to the top rope. Riho avoids a double stomp and fires up with some forearms. Soho responds with a headbutt but is favoring her knee. Riho blocks No Future and locks in a half Boston Crab. Soho reaches the ropes as we head into the picture-in-picture break. We get to the end of the match. Soho hits an elbow strike and tries for a Blade Runner, but Riho reverses it into a crucifix bomb. A close near fall. Riho charges but runs into a pair of boots on Soho. Soho hits the backdrop driver for a 2 count. It's the Blade Runner. 1, 2, 3. And Ruby Soho is moving on to the next round. Now, unlike the men's side where we know who's going to be facing off in the semifinals on one side of the bracket, they did 1 match for each for the women. So we do not have any idea who's going to be wrestling Ruby Soho or or Toni Storm until next week, because next Wednesday you'll have the Joker match, and then Friday you'll have Red Velvet's match. So the women's finals are going to be happening. Semifinals are going to be happening on the Go Home show and for Rampage and Wednesday night. So that's how that's going to work. Backstage with the Gun Club, the Acclaim, where Bayley is trying to get them on the same page. They need hand gestures. They need all this stuff. Apparently they're all just one big faction now. Back in the ring, Tony Schiavone introduces the TBS champion, Jay Cargill, the baddies, Killer Hogan and Red Velvet. Mark Sterling with them, still in his neck brace and using the crutch. Tells them to cut the shit, which I don't understand what that is even. Is that supposed to be her catchphrase? Tony, cut the shit. Is that seriously supposed to be a catchphrase? No, don't. Just go with that bitch show. That's better for you. Ronnie informs her that Shida will not be able to face Velvet in the Owen Hart Foundation. Cargill says that actually sounds like good news. She asks Sterling what happened to him as she looks at him probably for the first time in a week and sees he has a neck brace and a crutch. But he says he cuts him off before he can say anything. Sterling says Velvet should move on to the tournament because Shida can't compete. Shivani says that's not how this is going to work. But your opponent will be one of your long-time friends. And he points down the aisleway, and out comes Miss Chris Statlander, which Shida did say that she is very thankful. It makes her heart smile, the fact that somebody who, if you remember, before Chris Statlander went down with her injury, Chris Statlander went down with that knee injury. they, for a long time, had Chris Statlander and Hikaru Shida as a tag team. So when they were building towards that tag team tournament they did in 2020, it looked like we were probably going to see Chris Statlander and Hikaru Shida in that tournament, but unfortunately Statlander went down, and Shida's like, I ain't going to want to be in this tournament if I can't have my tag team partner, Chris Statlander. Hopefully, we can see more Stat and Shida when everything boils down. We can see more of them in tag team, because they were really good as a tag team. And eventually, it ain't anytime soon, but eventually the women are going to have tag team championships. And obviously, Chris Statlander and Hikaru Shida should be in that division whenever that division gets started. Back from break, we had the whole thing backstage with Frankie Kazarian and Scorpio Sky. Scorpio Sky says, hey, when I said I wanted to bring respect back on this name, on this title, I meant it. You two can take the night off, which, of course, that seems to piss them off. So we go to the match, Scorpio Sky versus Frankie Kazarian. And Sami Guevara and Tay Conti are sitting in ringside with their mixed tag team titles from AAA. So Sky and KAZ shake hands as the crowd chant SCU. They lock up. It ends in a stalemate. Another one to a takedown by KAZ. Sky works back on his feet to grab an armbar. KAZ comes off the rope with a shoulder block, and both men back off the reset. As he takes the advantage with a short arm scissor that grounds Sky. Sky rolls out of it for a pinning attempt that breaks the hold. Sky tries for the TKO. KAZ tries for a crossface chicken wing, and he tried this multiple times in this match because since he started using the crossface chicken wing in AEW, nobody has been able to get out of it. So once he locks that in, you're done. And he kept trying over and over. KAZ goes for the crossface again. Sky counters it with a lawbreaker. Charges in the corner, but KAZ sends him in and over the ring apron. KAZ slingshot Sky back into the ring in the midair cutter for a big near fall. Sky hits the TKO, gets a pin. The commentator says Sky was out while he was in the chicken wing, and KAZ should be champion. Sky is arguing with Paige. Oh, hold on. Before that happens. Yes. So, KAZ had him eventually got him in the crossface chicken wing. But he didn't get him down, where they hold him down and have him in a clutch or something. No. He had him forward, and Sky was fading. So, Lambert comes out, not adhering to the wishes of Scorpio Sky to distract the referee. Ethan Page comes in, grabs the championship, and hits KAZ with it. 1, 2, kick out. Sky hits the TKO eventually. 1, 2, 3, and that was that. After the match, Scorpio Sky is he's like, yeah, give it up for my boy on KAZ here. We had a hell of a match. Goes to pick up KAZ, and KAZ tells him, dude, these guys, this guy hit me. This guy hit me with the championship. You want to win that way? He keeps saying stuff to him, and then Sky goes over to Ethan Page. He's like, did you really hit him? And eventually, Ethan Page is like, you're damn right I hit him. I did it for you. I did it for this team. Who signed it? What team are you even on? Scorpio Sky thinks for a minute, turns right around, nails KAZ in the face with the TNT Championship. He starts beating up on KAZ. Lambert says, I love it when a plan comes together. Hey, Sami, where the fuck do you think you going? Eventually, Sami grabs a chair and chases them off to end the segment. And that's how the show went off the air. I'm not a big fan of this. The fact that, how are you going to get through this? You had a perfect segue to get Ethan Page versus Scorpio Sky at Double or Nothing. That should have been the way we go with this. You could have them at odds, and just have them at odds for the next 2 weeks or so. Have them go to Double or Nothing, have their match, and then the next Wednesday night afterwards, have something going on, and then they can reconcile as if it was always just a big old plan. Is Tony Khan really trying to get people to give a shit about Tay Conti and Sami Guevara? They don't. You have Sami and Tay as this dickish, we're better than you heel group. Heel power couple. And you had Scorpio Sky, who just became a natural babyface for a minute because of everything that happened with Tay and Sami. And now all of a sudden you're just gonna have Scorpio Sky be, oh, he's a heel again. I think in the long run of this thing that Tony Khan once again did not read the room right at all. Okay, episode of Rampage. I don't think that was the smartest thing to do, was to go out there and just be like, yeah, that's what we're gonna do. We're just gonna have Sami go out there, and he's gonna make the save, and everyone's gonna cheer. Nobody cheered. Nobody gave a damn about Sammy Guevara running in to make the save. SmackDown opens with RK Bro. One takes the mic and welcomes everyone. He says he and Riddle are very excited to be here tonight, but they're also sick and tired of the chase. He says it's very obvious that SmackDown Tag Team Champions, the Usos, don't want to have the balls to make the decision for themselves. And it's obvious that Undisputed Universal Champion Roman Reigns is the only one making decisions for the Bloodline. Mentions how they had 6-man tag match at WrestleMania Backlash 1 until Reigns hit him with a spear. Riddle's apologized for the loss, but says it's obvious that whenever the Usos can't handle business, Reigns comes in and gets the job done for them. Orton gets the crowd and agrees that they are also sick of this. Orton says he and Riddle demand a chance to become the Undisputed Tag Team Champions. He tells Reigns to bring his happy ass to the ring. Out comes Sami Zayn. He's wearing a Bloodline t-shirt. He speaks for the stage and asks if they know how things work around here on SmackDown, and if they actually think they can snap a finger and summon Reigns at any time. He says, I'm the locker room leader. I'm happy to address this on Reigns' behalf. He says he speaks for the Bloodline, the locker room, and on the entire WWE Universe when he says, no one wants to see this title unification match, which, bullshit, everyone does. Says, more importantly, RK Bro doesn't want the match because if it happens, they will lose. Sami is in the ring now, saying he is trying to handle this like a leader with diplomacy. He wants Orton and Riddle to have some nice going on, so he suggests, RK Bro, fans interrupt, they Sami sucks chant. He suggests they take their titles and go back to Raw and don't ever come back. Fans, of course, boo some more. Riddle says he's going to call Sami Rusty because his hair looks like rust. Orton pokes fun at Sami and fans chant Rusty now. Sami says this is not his name, it's Sami. The locker room leader says he's not making a threat, but RK Bro should watch how they talk about the Bloodline because the last person who did, Tetsuya Nakamura, was taken out last week, just like Sami promised. Orton says it looks like Sami is actually calling shots for Bloodline and getting things done, which is cool. Orton keeps talking Sami up and says he has the perfect idea. Sami versus Riddle, and if Riddle wins, RK Bro gets the title unification match. The fans cheer, but Sami hesitates. The Rusty chants continue. Sami finally agrees to the match. Rolls to the floor and says, however, there's no way the match is happening tonight, maybe in a week or two, so he can get okay with Paul Heyman or Roman Reigns. Because it's complicated. And Pierce comes out and says he can't agree to Sami competing on behalf of the Bloodline, but he will like to see Sami versus Riddle. Fans pop, and Pierce says the match begins now. The music starts back up as Sami looks from the ramp and we go to commercial break. Sami Zayn versus Raw Tag Team Champion Matt Riddle. So, match was fine. I actually missed most of it because I don't know. I woke up and it was like down toward the final minute of this match. Riddle brings Sami back and hits the Orton Power Slam, which it just feels like they're going to build to Sam. When they get to Matt Riddle versus Randy Orton, it's going to be Randy Orton got tired of seeing his moves being performed by somebody else. That's just the way it seems like it's going because he's hitting the draping DDT. He's now hitting the Power Slam. He's hitting the RKO. And that's going to eventually just get to to Randy Orton, and Randy Orton's going to destroy him for it. So, Riddle wins with the Bro Derek. Not much else you can say about that, and that is that. Backstage, we see the Bloodline watching Undisputed Champion, Universal Champion Roman Reigns, who is going to be going away, it seems like, for about 10 weeks minus the 3 big stadium shows as Universal Champion, which I think is a massive mistake. I do not think it's a good idea to have Randy Orton hold on to the Universal. And honestly, I'm just going to be saying this right now. Roman Reigns does not need the Universal Championship anymore. He doesn't. Do I think if they had enough credible opponents, he could hold it for the next 2 years? Absolutely. But it'd be one thing if they didn't unify the titles and it was just Roman Reigns being the Universal Champion. Then they could have Bobby Lashley or whoever be the WWE Champion and be the top draw for all of these pay-per-views coming up that he's going to miss. And they're not going to do that. I don't know why, but they're not going to do that. So I think it's dumb that Roman's going to be able to disappear for 10 weeks, I guess, minus 3 big pay-per-views. After, I think he has like 1 or 2 more weeks on TV, and then he's gone. He's gone outside of Money in the Bank, Clash at the Castle, and SummerSlam. So, yeah, I would not be too happy about that if I was anybody. It's like, and that's going to make SmackDown suffer. That's going to make house shows suffer, because it's like, why would I spend money to go watch a fledgling product that absolutely sucks if the top draw is not going to be there? I don't understand why anyone would want to do that. There's not a world champion there. The Intercontinental title and the US titles don't mean a damn thing like they used to mean. So why should I fucking care? So yeah, we'll see what happens in the coming weeks. Of course, Matt, a whole segment backstage, Roman Reigns basically says he's going to give them an answer later tonight. Of course, that's going to be a main event. They plugged the Clash at the Castle on September 3rd with Cardiff, Wales at Principality Stadium. We see a disappointed Sami Zayn walking backstage. Shinsuke Nakamura walks up and says Reigns might be the head of the table, but Sami is the table's ass. He winks and laughs and walks off. So, yeah. I don't know what they're doing. I don't know what they're doing with Shinsuke Nakamura, but yeah. Ronda Rousey comes out, and the very first thing she says, being a 13-time women's champion is impressive, but I got the title now. Places the title up. She gives it up to Flair for being one of the toughest competitors she's ever fought. She had to break Flair's arm to get her to quit. Rousey herself would rather die than say those words, but that's just her. I hope you're ready for a nice nap, because Ronda Rousey is on the mic and she's really fucking terrible. He's issuing an open challenge. He looks to the back and wants to make someone to make history tonight. And out comes Raquel Rodriguez, who is smiling all the way down to the ring. Says she accepts, she's smiling, they go to break, they come back, they start the match. Raquel Rodriguez hits one fucking move to knock down Ronda Rousey, and she just sits there and looks around and smiles. She's smiling because she's out here having a WWE SmackDown Women's Championship match, even though she has no business being in the ring with the Women's Champion right now. Now, I will say about this match that they did get, Ronda Rousey gave Raquel Rodriguez a lot. She let her go out there and just make it look like there were a couple of times where there's a possibility that Ronda's going to lose. Ronda tried for the armbar multiple times, and Rodriguez was able to throw her off. She went for the Piper's Pit. Rodriguez was able to get out of that. Rodriguez, of course, ends up losing this match by the most devastating move in all of professional wrestling and sports entertainment, the devastating roll-up. And Ronda Rousey wins that way. But again, you go back and watch this match. Yes, it wasn't the prettiest match. Raquel Rodriguez is nowhere close to being ready to be on television in a championship match, or having a long match on television. But Ronda went out there and gave her a lot, let her go out there and just throw her off, throw her around, and just let her go out there and show off her power. And that was how that went. So they shake hands. Ronda leaves. Raquel's in the ring still, disappointed but smiling. She's smiling the entire time. Smiling that, yeah, I might have lost, but yeah, I can smile that I'm on SmackDown and I'm a babyface. I fucking hate this so much. Not every fucking babyface has to go out there and give you the fakest goddamn smile you've ever seen. Jungle Boy, I'm just gonna put this example out here. Jungle Boy faced Ricky Starks, and things went wrong and he lost. Did you see Jungle Boy smiling after his match? Did you see Jungle Boy out there, hands on the ropes, smiling, man, I'm just so happy to be here? No, the dude was upset. The dude had a pouty look on his face because he knows he had that match won, and he got screwed. And that's how a babyface can act sometimes. Just like Raquel Rodriguez lost this match, and in the end, she shakes the hands of Ronda Rousey, and then she's smiling again, as if it's O-fucking-K that you just got beat by a roll-up. Give me a fucking break with this garbage. I'm tired of it. So tired of the fucking roll-ups. Of the smiling babyface. Braun Breaker on NXT. He's not smiling. Comes out to Monday Night Raw. Got that goofy fucking smile on his face. Finn Balor, down in NXT, cold-hearted look on his face. I'm ready to fuck anybody up. On Monday Night Raw, I am an underwear model. He loves to smile all the time. Give me a break. Backstage, Shotzi Blackheart is pissed because she got pushed out of the way by Kel Rodriguez, so as Rodriguez was able to get down there to challenge for the championship, she said she took her opportunity away. Aaliyah's like, oh, hold up. Are you going to tell him about the fact that you locked me in the women's locker room so I couldn't go down there and get my title? And they're just yelling at each other back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. Like, hey, look, it's two losers, so when they ever do go and cut people on the main roster, they're probably going to be cut from the main roster, yelling to Adam Pearce, who is the bigger loser, pretty much. We got the crew member setting up the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal Trophy at ringside. Why is that trophy still around? Usually, when we have someone win the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal Trophy, they don't hold the title. They don't show it off this late into the year. I mean, Baron Corbin won it. He had it around for what, 1-2 weeks? Cesaro won it. His got destroyed about a week or two later. Everyone else has it for like the first week or so, and then they're done. Here we go, and I don't know why we still see the trophy. So Kayla Braxton, we come back to break, and Kayla Braxton brings out Madcap Moss. Calls had what some call the biggest match of his career at WrestleMania Backlash when he defeated Happy Baron Corbin. Man, if that is your biggest match of your career, you are the lowest hanging fruit on the tree. Moss says this is by far the biggest match win of his career. Says Corbin is powerful, physical, imposing, and can really wear you down with his terrible personality. Says he probably would have tapped out for boredom if Corbin told him one more story about the cost of his watch. He says it was tough, but he looked past Corbin's horrible tattoos, shielded his eye from Corbin's bald head, and defeated the big bald wolf. Braxton asks Moss what's next for him, and Moss says his WWE career is just beginning and wants to do it all. He formed a mixed tag team with the WWE Women's Tag Team Champion Sasha Banks. Call it the Madcap Boss. Climbed the ladder, win the Money in the Bank contract. Replace title belts with title suspenders. Let's not even go there. And then Corbin attacks from behind with the steel chair. Moss goes down, he delivers more chair shots. Brings in the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal Trophy. Stops, puts Moss. Moss is getting up with more chair shots. Wraps the chair around Moss's neck and then smashes the trophy on his neck to Pillmanize him. And Corbin walks away laughing and happy. Did not care. Women's Tag Team Championship match: Shayna Baszler and Natalya vs. Sasha Banks and Naomi. I didn't even give a shit. This was your bathroom break match of the night. I do still all four women are good in the ring. It's just couldn't get me to care about this match. Guess how it ends? With a roll-up. Another roll-up victory. Because apparently the most devastating move in all of professional wrestling is the roll-up. Sasha Banks and Naomi retain. Gulak is backstage with Intercontinental Champion Ricochet. Says his last few weeks have been rough. He can't ask Ricochet if he has any advice. Ricochet knows it has been tough, and he knows Gulak knows he can relate. Says if he would have given up when things got tough, he wouldn't have the Intercontinental Championship, and could have called it quits. But he took control of his situation and his destiny. Ricochet says the only person who can help Gulak is himself. Gulak says, you know what, you're right. This version of himself won't let Walter chop him down to size, and the next time he sees him, he will put him in his place. Thanks him and walks off. Exits through the next door, makes a left, and there's Walter and his buddy. And he's like, what did you say you wanted to do to the ring, General? Walter grabs him, puts him against the wall, rips his shirt, and then gives him a nice big chop to the chest. And that was that. Why should I care? Kofi Kingston versus Pete Dunne. Now, okay, so this is what we call dragging things on and on and on. You had the New Day versus Sheamus and Ridge Holland in a table match last week. That should have been the end of it. It wasn't the end of it. Here we are with Kofi Kingston versus Pete Dunne. 1-on-1. Pete Dunne wins with the bitter end. Finally gets a fucking win. This is Pete Dunne's first win on the main roster, actually, if you think about it, because he wasn't in the match last week. He wasn't in the match at WrestleMania. He lost all of his matches against Xavier Woods, so I guess Xavier Woods is his kryptonite, if you want to say that. But the only reason he won here is because Ridge Holland and Sheamus kept distracting and allowed him to eventually hit the bitter end for the finish. It's just, this guy, Pete Dunne, deserves better than this. And here he is getting just, I don't know. I hate seeing talent get wasted like this. Pete Dunne deserves better. Pete Dunne is awesome. He has to sit here and parade around as a paperboy from the 1700s. Or the 1970s or something, 1970s, 60s, whatever it is, from the UK. Like, I hate it. I fucking hate it. Here comes the Bloodline to finish off the show. We get the acknowledge me, and the fact that Roman says we come out every night, and we see that we make promises and we see to them. And then we come out the next Friday and tell you what we're going to do next. Went to WrestleMania, smashed Brock Lesnar. Came out the next week, told you what was going to happen. Went to Backlash, smashed him there. And what happened after that is what happened. And now he has no one left, he says. Even though Drew McIntyre's off on a promotional tour for Clash at the Castle, which those tickets go on for sale next Friday. But he says that Usos might have something else because there's a challenge ahead for them. Hands Jimmy, I think it was, the mic, and out comes RK Bro. They want the tag team title match, Unification match. The Usos accept. Ain't going to be this week because the match show's almost over. It's going to be not at Hell in a Cell next week. And then Matt Riddle hits Roman Reigns with a final flash knee, sending the Tribal Chief backwards, and they leave. So, I have one problem with this. Do you really expect me to believe? Now, the word going around is that WWE is not going to follow through with the Tag Team Unification match. They're going to give you the match, but they're not going to unify the titles. This right here tells you they're not going to unify the titles. Why? Who wants to believe that WWE is going to go out there and give you a unification match on a random episode of SmackDown when Hell in a Cell needs matches? You could have put RK Bro versus the Usos inside Hell in a Cell for the unification match. They might still go that way. I don't think the titles are being unified on Friday next week. It's just no fucking way. There's no way. If you're going to do a unification, like, that'd be like saying Roman Reigns versus Brock Lesnar for the title unification would have happened on a random episode of SmackDown. That wouldn't happen. So don't think that I'm going to believe that that's how they're going to do this. But we'll see what they actually do next Friday. That is your SmackDown and Rampage review. Hit that subscribe button, comment down below, like or dislike this video. Find me online at The Frowns Club. Find me on twitch.tv/TheFrownsClub. And find me on Instagram at The Frowns Club. And I'll see you guys on Monday for Raw. Till then, mine is The Frowns, and I'll see you guys later.